And welcome to the Peak Millennial Podcast.
Oh dear, that was terrible. Hello.
Is it loud enough?
I think I heard it. You know what? If not, I'm just going to cut it out.
I think you heard it. What the fuck?
It
took
cut
so much
out.
effort.
It cut out. So I'm not sure if it was the internet or if it was you. Anyway, how are you,
There's a
Gio?
blonde girl in this music video. I'm doing great. Good.
Good. So
It's all good.
Peak Millennial listeners, we have a very special present for you this episode. You already know what it is because it will be in the title of this.
I see.
But
Spoilers.
we have singer-songwriter extraordinaire,
Oh,
Grammy-nominated,
oh my God.
Nobel Peace Prize winner,
Ed Sheeran.
Mr. Adam Seers.
It's not Ed Sheeran. I'm fucking
Literally
the podcast.
none of those things.
We have all-round, general great human being, hilarious, funny person, beautiful, attractive man who I would be sleeping with were he heterosexual. Adam Seers, how are you?
Thank you. Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh.
I listen to this all the time, so now I'm going to hear my own voice.
Oh my God, stop. You're making it sound like we're famous, which we are, but you know.
There's no turning back once you see how unprofessional the podcast is. You won't be able to listen again.
I mean, literally, what I love about the unprofessionalism, like the key point of it, is that with your reviews on iTunes, one of them is literally written by Gio.
Oh God, it's so true. Oh, dear.
I don't even use iTunes.
But yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be really inappropriate and swear on a podcast and
Oh.
say far too much about my own life.
Oh, this
Very welcome.
isn't a podcast, right? This is a therapy session for me every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
Where
That's
I
it.
air way too much on the internet.
This is way more for us than it is
Yeah.
for the listeners.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I kind of love about it, because it is kind of a catch-up between you two. So it is
Yeah.
just hearing two friends talk really organically, which is basically what all podcasts should be.
Yeah, and also we're never in the same room. People always assume that we're in the same
I
room.
never knew this.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Madness.
It's just, this is the only time Gio and I talk as
It's
well, so...
Can't look at Angela in the eye anymore.
We literally can't stand each
Just
other.
have to speak through a microphone.
Yeah,
with each other.
there's
that's
no
it.
other way now. How are you? What have you been up to? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Adam.
I'm good. So I am a writer, not a singer-songwriter.
Well, come on. It's a
Close
saying.
enough.
Yeah, I can't do songs. But yeah, no, I'm a writer, I'm a performer. I currently work in a film school, but I'm going to work in TV soon.
The glamorous world of television.
Yes, because my anxiety couldn't get any worse.
Because if you didn't hate yourself enough, go work in TV.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I perform as part of a theatre company. I did that for the first time recently.
Oh, I saw it last week. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, you told me about this.
Yeah.
It sounded cool.
So,
Yeah.
okay, Adam, you talk about it.
So basically, it's this really weird type of theatre called neo-futurism.
Oh
And
God.
effectively, everything that you talk about, you don't play characters. Everything you talk about has to be the truth. Everything has to be relevant. So you can't talk about something that was 6 months ago. It has to be up to date. We attempt to perform 30 1 to 2 minute plays in an hour, and the audience decide the order of what happens. So yeah, it's good. So it's just really fun. But that was my
Fucking
first time.
brilliant.
Yeah,
When is the
performing
next
with them.
show on? Adam, please tell
It's
us.
the first and third weekend of every month.
Okay, so
Not that I'll always be in it, because there's a rotating cast. But
Right.
yeah,
Oh.
it's called The Dirty 30 by Degenerate Fox. That's the company.
That's it.
when is your next one? So it'll be
Mine's in September.
when's
so-
the next one for the group?
Well, just watch those ones. Fuck the other ones.
Yeah, fuck the other one. When's your next one in September?
It's going to be the first and third weekend.
Okay,
I'm not good
so
with dates.
you'll see me there. If you want to give me a kiss on the mouth, you're
Oh.
more than welcome to at those shows.
My God, think of the podcast content.
At no other time are you allowed to kiss me. Just then, as
Yeah.
many as you like, and we'll watch a show together. It'll be great.
But
We'll
yeah,
hold hands.
it was great. I think you'd enjoy it, Gio, because it's just a bit bizarre.
Oh, Gio would
It
love
sounds
it.
like
He'd
a great
absolutely
time.
Love it. Yeah. Come down actually for the next one. You can stay with me for the weekend.
Look at us
Do
making
it, let's do
plans. Look at me promoing.
This is Adam. Adam also writes very, very funny scripts.
Yeah.
But no songs,
Oh,
tragically.
No, I'm really sorry, Gio. I literally really wish I could. I also can't do
Fine.
poetry.
Try
I don't
that.
understand it. I
Poetry,
tried to write
We can move on.
haiku about
But-
smoking once, and it just didn't work.
but surely but surely everyone can write poetry. It just doesn't have to be good.
Yeah, it might be shocking.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like I wrote poems when I was like 5 and it was like, I love chips, I love dogs,
Yeah.
I love
I'm going to try and find a smoking haiku.
Yeah, like, everyone could build a house, but it's just like, could you live in it? Right?
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Same
it's the
deal,
same
same
principle
deal.
for really anything. Any
At the end of this podcast, we've got to write a peak millennial haiku.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's our task.
Here we go.
Work it out together.
Okay, let's hear the smoking haiku, please.
But first, someone's got to introduce the fucking podcast because we haven't told people what we do.
She's already done it.
Oh, okay. This is Peak Millennial. We answer questions on the internet about relationships, love, sex, anything vaguely saucy. But you know, if you're on this episode, you must have listened to other ones. So unless you're here just for Adam, actually, and then so this is Peak Millennial. You will hear 2 questions, and then we'll discuss a topic that we have pre-picked, or maybe it'll come up organically, and we're going to get very heated. It might become very sexual. I'm sorry in advance.
Moist.
Oof.
Lots of residue.
Ooh, sticky. So get some baby wipes next to you, and let's get cracking with the show. No, smoking haiku. Smoking haiku.
Smoking haiku.
Wait.
Right. So it seems.
Oh, you
like
found
I wrote a couple. Yeah. So are you ready?
Okay. Please.
Loneliness is a rubbish excuse to kill my lungs. It is not cool.
Oh, that.
I mean,
look, you went wrong.
Yeah.
You went wrong. That's what I like about that.
I hate myself.
I think that was great. I loved it.
That should be a Twitter bio. I like that a lot.
I've recently on Grindr, someone called me a leggy blonde, and I think that will just be my Tinder bio from now on.
I think that smoking haiku sounds like every like
Great.
soft boy that I've ever dated, like in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like every artsy white boy that I've ever dated.
Every dude with a
Yeah.
fucking fringe.
Absolutely lumberjack shirt. Those kind of baggy jeans, but they're not too baggy, and then their shoes that will be just wrecked and discoloured.
Yeah, but you're just describing my ex.
And most of the men you have dated.
Adam, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this
Hit me
question.
up.
I think it's a good question for anyone who's on the podcast.
Okay.
You work in like a quite a different like creative kind of field, right? It's just different. You know what I mean? So have you ever yeah. Have you ever dated anybody in the same sitch?
As in someone that works there?
Yeah.
No. But that's probably, to be honest, if there was a hot gay person there that found me attractive, most likely I would have had sex with them.
So Adam's answer to that is, I'm not saying I have, but would I? Yes.
The best thing, like obviously, in my heart of hearts, it's like, my brain is like, don't shit where you eat. But I just know for a fact that I would not let that stop me.
Don't
and
look at
like,
me.
let's make the
Don't look at
mistake and
me.
cover up later.
Yeah, look. As queen of shitting where she eats.
Well, I mean, less so from the exact place. I mean, more just like in the same field of work.
No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. No, I don't think I have really. I'm really excited to start working in TV because then I can start dating people that also work in TV.
Oh, yeah.
And then that will be great because they'll probably be at my same level, which is always really important to me when I date people. Like, I don't want them to be too high and promoted and then they have reached all their life goals compared to me who has hardly reached any of mine. Do you know
what
I
if
mean?
they're in a different like branch of television, for example?
Yeah.
Is that not something, if they were like higher up in a completely different branch to what you wanted to be in?
Yeah, it's not necessarily about same interests. It's more about same point in life because, yeah, I'll try and explain myself better. But I've definitely gone on dates with guys who have very much used that almost as a power play. So, like, prime example. Absolutely. So, prime example, he was 33, went for a coffee date. I don't do coffee dates, so it was a bad omen from the start. Yeah, but yeah, basically, he worked in Parliament in some form and blah, blah, blah. And he was talking about how even though he lived in Putney, since he was going to have to be in Central all week, they've paid for a hotel. So straight away I was like, okay. But then he turned around and he was like, so you like red wine? And I was like, yeah, I love red wine because you know what I'm like. And he's like, oh, what's your favourite blend? And I was like, oh, well, I just love Rioja. Like at the end of the day, I only buy it from the supermarket. He tutted. And then I went, oh so shit. Are you into red wine then? And he was like, well, yeah, kind of. I know a few things. And I was like, that's awesome. And he was like, yeah, and like, I have a storage unit and my mate's a merchant, so I have like
Fucking
probably
hell.
25 crates of wine, which has 12 bottles in each one. And then I was just like, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Did I still blow him? Yes. Did I hate myself afterwards? Of course. Did we ever speak again? Absolutely not.
What a great that was such a ride, and I'm so glad we've asked you to be on this podcast. This is exactly the kind of content that we're looking for.
Going back to Gio's question of dating someone kind of in the same arena, my only kind of bad experience of dating in relation to where I work now was I once was chatting to this guy on Chappie, so like gay Tinder. So we were chatting on there, and he was a freelance filmmaker, and he basically was like, oh, I want to get better with my cinematography skills and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, well, like, my school does, you should look for a short course because, like, our school does them and, like, all this kind of stuff. So anyhow, we then chat for, like, 4 more days, on and off, but it's nice. And then it just drizzles out. So anyhow, flash forward to I'm welcoming people onto a cinematography course, and it's a really busy day, so I've, like, been running around, and so it's got to the point where I'm just welcoming them in as they walk into the classroom. And yeah, then he was just like, hello, Adam. And I was like, oh, hello. And then for the rest of the week, he proceeded to send me feedback about the course through their dating app, even though I was emailing them each day. Literally, I'd get home.
I think I've heard this,
I'd get home, and I'd get a message saying, oh my God, Adam, such a great first day. I loved it so much. The only one little thing, though, is I did have to keep my coat on all day because it's the studio. And I was just like, please stop contacting me through this app. And I let it happen for a while, and it got to the end of the week where he hadn't done the feedback form, but he proceeded to give me a paragraph of feedback through the dating app. And I was like, this is not the place for this.
Oh my.
That's hella weird, man. What the fuck is that about?
And also says something about my type, because we have a photo list of people, and I literally told everyone within the first 5 minutes of noticing this, and 2 of my colleagues literally went, give me one guess. And I went, okay, cool. And they just pointed straight at the person.
Oh my God. But Adam's type is sort of people who look vaguely like him.
Stop it! Everyone says this.
Good way to start. It's a good way to start,
I mean,
to be fair.
for me, my type could not be more different to what I actually look like, because I find myself repugnant.
White man.
Any white man is the polar opposite of me, I think, but I have like the confidence and attitude of a white man, I feel.
Got that big dick energy.
Yeah. And also just like my lack of care for anything really is a very white man, very, very straight person. So anyway, we've gone off on a massive tangent. Peak millennial.
Like shit. I'm sorry.
You're here. You're queer. You love us. Listeners, they're not Adam.
Let's be perfectly queer. I'm gay.
The tittle. This is the part of the thing where we answer the questions and stuff, and email us questions at peakmillennial@gmail.com. You fuck. She, 20-year-old female, lost her virginity whilst we were taking a break. That's the title. That's it. That was.
Wait, so they were together and then they hadn't had sex, and then during a break in their relationship, she went off and
Yeah, you got
sex.
it. You got it.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, wow. I'm with you. Go.
Okay. We've been together for 4 years. At the beginning, like all teenagers do, we also fooled around. Hello. She was genuinely oh god, this is weird.
Hello.
She was genuinely turned on and wanted to do stuff, but we never got to Panama's game. We were both virgin.
We were both virgin.
We were both virgin.
But if that's like, it's like, what does fooling around mean? Does it mean getting fingered in a bus stop? Or, okay.
I'd say foreplay. So maybe wanking off. All about the practical. Where's the D? How can I get to it quickly?
How do I get to it as quickly and as efficiently as possible? Anyway,
get this done.
Continue, Gio.
We were both virgin. And to her, virginity was always the best thing she can give me. It's, in quotes, the only thing she can only give to me in the whole life. And to be honest, in the whole life. And to be honest, that's why I, 21-year-old male, didn't push for it at all and wanted to take he said take her pace, but you know what he means. You get what he means. You're trying hard. Second language, goddammit. Around 2 to 2.5 years ago, things started to cool down. She no longer wanted to do it, referring to touching and oral. Oh, so there you go. That answers your question.
Ooh.
As often And a year ago, she started pushing away, even though I would ask twice a month when I was sexually frustrated. I really loved her, and I still do. I think she's smart, intelligent, beautiful, and that's why that wasn't a deal breaker for me. 2 weeks after our 4-year mark, she said she felt trapped and she wanted to take a little break from our relationship. I was crushed because I didn't see this coming at all. Her trapped definition was that she felt bad going to concerts and doing stuff without inviting me. And to be honest, I always encouraged her to go with her girlfriends and have fun. I have a feeling she trapped herself. I think she just wanted to take a break and couldn't come up with a better reason, or the real reason was like offending to me, or she just lost attraction, although she denied it. We talked it through and we decided that we would take a break and she will call me once the break is over. She was supposed to move in with me in May. Oh, Lord. It took a toll on me. I performed bad at my work and I was distant from my family. I was crushed and I hoped she would come back and, we'd cry together, agree it was a mistake and move on. Well, after around 3 weeks, fucking hell. She messaged me and said she wanted to talk. I was so excited and I invited her to my house. When she arrived, shortly after, she basically broke down crying. She said she met a guy, 23-year-old male, 2 weeks ago, and that after 3 days they slept together.
Ooh.
She had tried to connect with him, but it wasn't nearly as fun as with me, and that she wasn't sure why she wanted to take a break from me in the first place. Now, I consider myself 7 to 8 out of 10.
That's a high self-rate.
So, hey, this guy respects himself.
I'm
tall and I
inverse.
work out semi-regularly. She assured me that it wasn't my looks. She said she wanted us to be together again and that she would do anything to earn back my trust and make me happy. The guy she slept with...
Oh, God.
The guy she slept with was a fucking 10 out of 10. Of a muscle, although I didn't know him or anything about him. This is like that meme where it's like you versus the fucking her friend.
Yeah.
I love it when
this
straight
happened...
guys do that. Like they are proud enough to be like, he was smoking, man. Like
yeah.
That's what I mean. This guy's realistic. He's confident in himself, but he knows that there's no fucking way. This happened yesterday. I'm broken. I couldn't come up. I couldn't come up with the words and just said it's going to be okay. And later politely asked her to leave, so I had time and space to think. I can't help it but feel like a backup plan. She sacrificed over 4 years together and basically made me a fool for waiting for sex and thinking that I'm something special for her. It bothers me so much that she was ready to fuck some guy less than a week after we broke up. Even if we get back together, am I supposed to have sex with her now or what? I'll provide more information, but I'm really struggling for advice on what am I going to do?
Right.
Interesting.
So.
Sweet Lord.
Fuck some other girl, then get back to her. That's my advice.
That's it. That's what you got. Fuck a mum, then get back together with her.
Because I think, right, and maybe this sounds petty, but like, if you have this idea that like you're gonna have sex with someone, and then you're both gonna like first have sex with each other, and then they do that with someone else, you're gonna feel a bit weird because you're gonna be like, they are more experienced than me, and they are gonna like compare me to the other person and all that kind of stuff.
Was he a virgin as well?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. They both were, right, Gio?
He didn't. I assume so. He didn't say, but
I thought he said we were both virgin. That's what he said.
Yes,
right.
We were both virgin. Yes, you're right. You're right.
So that's in my head. If that were me, I would be like, how am I supposed to have sex with this person, thinking they have been with someone else? And yeah, virginity is a social construct, blah blah blah. But like, I see virginity as, I saw someone say like, virginity is another term for just your sexual debut, and like you can. I know.
That's amazing.
But I think that it as much as people say, oh, it's not a big deal. I think it is, to be honest. Like, I think that having that...
Well, it's not even that. It's that they've been talking about it. They put value on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Them as a couple put value on it. So it doesn't even matter what the fuck we think. They've already put a value to this.
I'm with Gio. Like, I kind of think it's a bit weird. I don't like it when people talk about... Obviously, virginity and the first time you have sex should absolutely be in the most caring and loving way ever.
Yeah.
But I don't like it when it's almost, at points, he almost made it sound like he was owed that and it was a deserved thing.
That's very true.
I put in 4 years and I've been waiting for sex. And so at first he was like, it's something we want to do special together. But then as it went on, he was like,
totally.
oh no, I've been waiting this entire time and now she's gone and got it over and done with some other person.
I agree.
I think my biggest thing with this entire thing is I don't ever want to hear someone talk about themselves as if they are a backup plan, because that's poisonous, and I just feel so sad for them. But equally,
pretty sad.
If there's 4 years of it in it, I have always been from the perspective of if someone cheated on me, then I wouldn't get back together with them. However, she didn't technically cheat. They were actually on a break. I can't believe I'm actually saying that after the whole Friends debacle.
Yeah, but you understand why he's gutted, because it's like, what the fuck?
I see both sides.
For sure, it's
really
difficult.
But I also find it strange that he phrased it in that question as like, it's like the one thing that she can give to only me. And I'm like,
yeah, I didn't like that.
But I think I understand. I'm trying to think of it from like from my perspective, if this were me and I hadn't had sex with someone, and from that perspective, I think you would just feel a bit of inadequacy because
massively.
You think that you're going to do this very intimate thing with someone for the first time, and both of you are going to be experiencing it for the first time. Whereas if there's someone else who's done that already, and you just I would feel like you would feel a little, I don't know.
Yeah, but she only did it that one time.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Do you think she did it more than one time?
Yeah, Gio, what do you think, Gio?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you got to do, man? Like, you can't get back together with this chick, right? You can't. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, you went and fucking Chad with a 10-inch schlong. I'll just come back with me, and I'll just go fuck myself. Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, take my money and go to the fucking strip club whilst I sit at home and watch The Simpsons, eating a fucking frozen pizza.
That was.
What are you gonna do at this point?
You're so irate.
There's no reclaiming your honor here. You've lost all your honor. Your pride is out the window, and once the pride's gone, then you're a lone wolf.
Yeah,
that's it.
I have a big problem with breaks anyway. I don't believe in them. If you don't want to be
with someone, like, what are you doing?
You don't need to be with them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're tired of someone, you're going to get tired of them again at one point. I don't believe in it anyway. And so, to be honest, being completely brutal, I'm kind of like, if someone's suggesting that they want a break, I think,
take a break, a permanent one.
Yeah, I just think she wasn't there for it. And the fact that she went and had sex with someone else when it was such a big thing to the two of them as a couple just kind of shows, I think she was feeling a bit trapped.
And also, I think to be honest, I do think it shows a bit of a lack of respect for the OP anyway, because it's like, if you've discussed that it's a really important thing to you, and then you're like, I'm just going to go off and fuck someone else. It's just like,
need to get it out of the way.
It shows like you don't really care, and it's like, I don't know, not you don't really care, but like it's just something that you've just thrown to the wind.
Yeah. But also, aren't they actually very young? Because were they together 4 years?
Pretty young. Yeah, they were.
And she's 21, or he's 23, or they both.
I think they're both 21.
So they're both 21, but she went out and banged some Chad who was like 24 or something.
So they're kind of in an awkward transition of, obviously people can have sex whenever they want, and I know people that did lose their virginities really young, but from the sounds of it, it would have started off as something quite innocent, but now they're talking about moving in together, but they're talking about making this massive step without doing like a core functional thing in a relationship. You don't know anyone until you live with them, really. But also, do you actually know your partner until you've had sex with them? Maybe?
Yeah.
Actually, I know that some people do wait until marriage and all that kind of stuff. But I think that's such a vital part in my head.
Yeah, I agree.
Almost to get past the awkwardness.
I agree, and I think it's a level, I think, with intimacy.
Yeah, and it's about trust.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a difference between like having a one-night stand with someone and fucking them just for the sake of fucking someone, and actually when it's someone that you're in love with, that kind of sex, like, is so intense, and it's like being on drugs. And I think that to get to a level of comfortableness around each other and like doing that, with, I'm massively digressing. I just think there's no way that he will ever be able to get over that. In my opinion, in this relationship.
There's no way.
I don't, unless he is a much more evolved human being than I am.
Doesn't sound like it.
So, okay, Gio, hit us with some comments. What have other people said?
Man, the comments are fucking harsh, man. The top comment is just, "Oh my god, I'm so disgusted by humanity." This guy is really hard. This person put, "Damn, he got further in 3 days than you did in 4 years. That's got a sting." So it says more about you than anything else, to be honest.
Oh my god!
Literally what he's probably thinking though, and people are just, this is why you shouldn't post things on the internet, people.
Yeah, well, I think that comment is good. I think that's like a tough love comment, because you read that and you have to go, yeah, oh, fuck, I'm such a, you feel like a bit like a dick. You're like, oh, this guy's been a dick to me. Maybe I am being a twat here. Maybe I should have like put the moves on her. fuck this, I'm going to go and do better next time. Like, what are you going to do?
Self-evaluation, Gio.
Sometimes you got to kick a guy in the balls.
On a level of 1 to 10, how do you feel you did with pacing in the relationship?
Never talk to her again. She's a fucking idiot. Less wise comments this time than we had last podcast. We had some very wise and sound advice.
Yeah.
These are just like, fuck that hoe. No.
Fuck that bitch.
I think you need to focus less on what your ex-girlfriend decides to do with her body and who gets to fuck her and when, and move on. She's a grown-up and she gets to decide when she has sex. It sucks that it wasn't with you because you loved her. And I'm sorry, but it doesn't sound like you guys had a very good relationship. But don't make breakup about sex.
I really like that person.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's a very
sex. I think that was a very concise way of explaining.
No, what? I think the other one was fairer than this one. The other guy was like, damn, says more about you. Because she wants to get back together with him. If she didn't want to get back together, then I'd be like, all right, cool. But she does. She's crying back like, oh my God.
No. But she only wants to get back together with him because she is scared of being single and realizes what else is out there, and she is going back to something
that's fucking fault, is it?
But equally, I don't think it's his. It sounds like his massive issue was the fact that she lost her virginity with someone else. It's not that she shagged someone else.
That's true, and it's also not the fact that she broke up with him, right?
Well, I disagree. I think it's an add-on. I think the virginity bit is an add-on thing. I think
if it was an add-on, why is it the title of the question?
Well, because he's young, and that's why he wants to sound dramatic on the fucking internet.
Also, do a better title. That could have been really concise.
How dare you? They were both virgin.
They were both virgin. Extra virgin olive oil.
Oh my God.
Right, cool.
What's the update? Hit us with the update.
Oh my God, guys. Jesus.
No, stop it.
I'll read you one more comment. This is, man, people are harsh. Dude, she slept with a guy 3 days whilst you waited 4 years. The reason she took a break was because you were boring and she was sexually attracted to break her lord into you. She came back because she realized that she was just a fuckboy and wanted to pound her pussy before adding another list to his name. My guess is they both laughed at you and she planned to dump you, but it didn't work out. Remove her from your life and move on.
Yowza.
Oh, I don't like him. Oh, that was
too
a
far.
journey.
I was hurt by that.
This is
and also not a good enough reason to say pussy.
Oh Lord. Okay. Update. Hey guys. First of all, thank you so much for your responses. It really did affect me. So, long story short, 3 days ago, I broke up with her for good. Put broke up in quotation marks. Don't know what that means. Let's find out. Now, you guys might not agree with the way that I did it, but I did not want to have revenge sex with her, hurt her, or hurt her ego. Even though I'm sad and disappointed, at the same time, I understand she wanted to see other options, and I respect she didn't outright cheat on me. That being said, I'm also not a backup plan, and I deserve to be someone's first plan.
Good.
Someone that will make love with me and not consider it a godly gift.
Someone that will make love.
I didn't see her anymore, and I finished it with a message. Here's a translated version.
No, absolutely not. That's not okay.
Hey, insert name here. First of all, can we give her a name?
Jessica.
I think that's a good name. I was going to say
Jessica Big Dick Lovin.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you in suspense, Jessica Big Dick Lovin. So yes, this is my final breakup message. Oh my God, this is like... This is my fine song.
You are live.
I took some days.
Please do not swear.
I took some time to think about it, and I realized that if we did continue where we left off, and the other guy would be in my head nonstop, and I would always be paranoid of you doing it again, and when you got bored of me. I understand we were and still are young when we started our relationship, and that you wanted to explore other options and gain experience. Sadly, in that process, you lost my trust and hurt me greatly. I respect you wanted to take a break instead of cheating on me, but that still doesn't make it justifiable. I wanted to thank you all for thank you for all those years, and I wanted to apologize for any wrongs I did to you. I want you to know that I'm not mad or sad, and that my head is in the right place. I hope that going forward you'll be okay too, and please don't punish yourself for what you did. Goodbye. OP. The message was supposed to be stronger and stuff, but I realized that I'm already getting over it and that I no longer see the point of putting more effort and thought into it. She replied with an equally long message saying that she is sorry, blah, blah, blah. So thank you guys. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
I'm almost certain that I would accept her back. So yeah, until next time.
Yeah. I feel like I'm coming at him quite hard, even though he's had this done to him, but I'm sorry. One, message. You never, ever, 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 ever text someone to break up with them. Two, final breakup message. I kind of had an image of An email, subject line, breakup.
This is my final.
I don't know. I think the message was obviously poor, but this guy just sounds a little strange in the way that he conducts his social affairs. Anyway,
trying his best, all right.
Yeah,
could.
He seems.
The job is done,
yeah,
right?
It's finished.
Yeah,
I'm not.
The job got done. He done what he needed to do. Everyone's happy. Now they can go and touch tongues with other people in the world.
He can go fuck some other bird. Hopefully, it'll take him less than 4 years this time.
Now he has plenty of time to listen to the Peak Millennial podcast.
Yeah. I think, Gio, I actually think...
listen to it.
I think...
Which you can listen to on iTunes, YouTube, and Apple thingy.
You can listen to it on
Spotify. Yeah.
That's what I said. Question numero 2.
We're ready.
My GIF likes me to go by different names. That's the question. It's not a question. It's a statement.
Okay, right.
What do you mean, Dan? To make this a bit easier to read, my name... Oh, we can't. I'm not going to say... Maybe he's made a fake name. Make him a name. Give me a male name.
Paolo.
Tarquin. Fucking hell. One name. All right.
Chadwick.
Adam, you're the guest. Chadwick. All right.
Chadwick. Okay.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. It's Chadwick Boseman.
Right. My name is Chad. My girlfriend and I have been together for 1 year. And for the past 6 months, we've done a mini vacation at least once a month. Fucking hell, this is like a whole marriage condensed into 6 months.
Yeah.
For the past 6 months, we've done a mini vacation at least once a month. We go to another city, usually within a 5-hour drive for the weekend, and rent the most expensive hotel room we can afford. All right, fucking Billy Big Pockets.
Jesus Christ. Every month? I'm still paying off my holiday.
Well, hang on. This explains it. The next sentence explains it. This usually leads to the wildest sex because we don't know anyone there. In the past 4 months, we've gone on 5 mini vacations, and every time she's wanted me to go by a different name.
What, like a role play sitch?
Oh.
It's always been the same name, Matt Blank. I figured this was just a fantasy name and went along with it. She's done things.
I love your laugh, Gio.
She's done things with Matt that she's never done with Chad. Oh god, this is too graphic. Bleep this out, but this is for you guys. Matt took her virginity in quotation marks.
Wait, okay, but are we still talking about the same?
Yeah, Matt is in the character that she wants to play.
It's still him.
Yeah.
Okay,
right. Yeah. He's jealous of himself.
That straight people are like, oh, and it's like otherwise known as just gay sex.
Otherwise known as like first base.
All right. If I bring it up to her that Jason wants to try those things with her, she says she's not that type of girl. Oh, fuck, that was his actual name, Chad. I meant Chad. I'll say it again. If I bring it up to her that Chad wants to try those things with her, she says that she's not that type of girl.
Wow.
She's pretty vanilla. She's pretty vanilla when we're at home, which I don't complain about. But now I know it's an option. I feel like I'm missing out. He's tasted the good life. He's tasted the name brand cereal, and now he wants it again. I don't want Sainsbury's fucking cornflakes.
Why are you so angry?
Here's the kicker. I had to pick her up from work a few days ago and walk her into the office. Sorry. I walked into the office to look for her.
No.
This was the first time I had been to her office.
No.
I spoke to the secretary.
I know where this is going. No.
To ask where she was and started on my way there. As we were leaving, her co-workers come to introduce themselves to me. From down the hall, I see a guy coming towards us. And
No. I know where this is going.
Tell me his name is Matt Blank.
And he says something along the lines of, Hi, I'm Matt Blank, SVP of Marketing.
Amazing!
After we finished talking to everyone, we went to the car, and I waited for her to say something, but she never did. I don't know what to say to her or if there is anything to say. I feel really uncomfortable, and I see our mini vacations in a completely different light now. Is this something I should be worried about, or is this normal? It's completely fucking normal, mate. Don't worry about it. Next question.
Anyway, so next one. What the fuck?
That went from roleplay to her fantasizing about a different man.
Yeah.
She literally is taking the name of another man. And I like, is she, what I would love to know is she that way at work? So is she with Matt Blanc in the bedroom at work?
Oh.
Like, she's a bit more saucy.
A bit more saucy.
Is she actually fucking the SVP? Is that what you mean?
Maybe. I just kind of, in the way that she changes her behaviour, Does she change her behaviour again?
Is this like Riverdale with like Dark Betty? Is this that whole
just a
thing?
bit of info? I've gathered that Matt Blank is her boss's boss, so it's like big power difference.
She wants the power.
Yeah,
we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
she wants to get powered by the power.
She wants to, but also it's like, you know, I find the whole thing of like, if you were gonna use his name, put yourself in an environment where your boyfriend isn't gonna meet him. Do you know what I mean?
Also, is it just a level of her being really lazy and uncreative?
Yeah. No, I mean, she wants to fuck the boss's boss.
She wants to fuck Matt Blank.
Who doesn't want Matt Blank?
Matt LeBlanc.
Okay, but also like in my head, I'm thinking, what? Do you really get off if he's just saying, "Hi, my name is like if I was dating a girl and she was in love with like fucking, she like really like name a hot guy,
Chadwick Boseman,
and she liked Chadwick Boseman, but I didn't know that, and she was like, "Gio, let me call you Chadwick Boseman."
But it's not a celebrity. It's a guy at work.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In my head, I'm thinking, what does the name matter? Like, what extra kink is she getting out?
Like, it's still meat, but it's like
the fucking name.
Though, isn't it?
I'm still ugly fucking meat when you open your eyes. You know what I mean? What do you gain from that?
But it's the role play thing, though, isn't it? Like, obviously, when you're role playing as that person, you just have to picture.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what Matt Blank's like.
Yeah, but this is exactly, so it goes from fantasy and it goes from role play, as in there are these different identities. But the fact that she's chosen someone's name who she has regular interactions with in a work environment where her boyfriend is not involved.
No, I get what you mean.
Brings a sense of reality into it where it's like, does she want him?
But I'm just trying to understand.
Imagine if I was fucking my boyfriend. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call you Louis. Like it's the equivalent, right?
But he would still not. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand.
He'd still not be Louis, but also it's just fucking weird. I mean, I really hate that I've said that because that's actually really disturbing for me to even think of. But like, you know what I mean?
Know. That's just a nitbit. But I just don't understand.
I find it really bizarre that she would actually put them in a context where they were going to meet each other. Like, come on, be a bit more sly than that. That's what I'm annoyed about.
Yeah.
Also, something I'm thinking about is they've been together a year, but for the past 6 months, they've been doing this stuff. So at the end of the day, you haven't been together that long, and if she's needing to spice up something to
Wait,
that
hold
extent,
on. How long have they been together again?
A year. And so for the past
I think yeah.
Come on, man.
So the fact that she's gone to the point where she is like not even identifying with the person that she becomes on those trips, on a different kind of girl. Yeah. It's kind of like, why is this needed?
Sex? Yeah,
you've been together with this person for a maximum year. You've started doing this halfway through the relationship.
Look, you got to stay along for the ride. Everyone's happy, but at the end of the day, you just got to move country.
Who?
Anyone. Someone's got to move country.
Me.
And I like the idea that they fuck loud because no one knows them, but that wouldn't necessarily stop.
Yeah, that doesn't stop me.
If that's the only reason why you're going away, then just lower your morals.
Yeah, exactly.
What should he do?
What should he do?
Give us a fucking advice.
I'd talk to her about it because I would say what I've kind of just said to you. I'm so happy to engage in this role play with you. I find it really fun. I get a lot out of it as well. Like, woo, consent. Yeah.
All right.
But the thing that concerns me, Sharon, what concerns me about this is the fact that you've grounded our fantasy in reality by using someone's real name who you have regular interactions with. Does that mean anything? And if she went, nah, I just couldn't think of another name in the moment, I'd be like, oh, fair. But then if that actually turned into, well, actually, yeah, I kind of fancy him, and I have a massive issue with power, I'd be like, wow, Sharon, this isn't going to work out. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh, damn. But first, let's go back to the hotel room and enjoy ourselves.
Completely agreed with everything Adam said. I don't think I can add any more.
But look, he doesn't have to date her.
Date who?
To date Sharon.
What do you mean he doesn't have to date?
The boyfriend doesn't have to date Sharon. So you're
no, they can carry. Well, they're not that serious. It's been 6 months. She's asking him to use another name.
It's been a year, hasn't it, Gio?
Oh, shit. No, yeah, it's right. No, it has been a year. You're right, my bad. All right, fucked it. You got to move on.
All right, Gio, give us some comments.
These ones are a bit more sensible than the last one. To me, it sounds like she's using you to live out her fantasies with other guys.
Getting a cake and eating it.
But, okay, is that a problem?
It sounds like it has intent, though. It's a fantasy with intent.
Right.
It's like an emotional
guy,
thing, right?
Can't get the guy. Yeah, it's totally emotional cheating, if that is what she's doing. Because, short fantasies. If I'm going to call a guy in bed Russell Tovey, fair enough.
Yeah, because it's a celebrity. But if it's the actual real interaction, that's where the line is.
It's a fantasy grounded in reality.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, sorry, Gio. Continue.
Sorry, Gio.
Tell her you want to pretend she's Ted Cruz. Encourage her to gain weight, wear tailored suits, give political talks.
Be the Zodiac
See how far
killer.
you can really take this, OP.
I've imagined her doing that all whilst deep throating.
Oh God, that is a horrible image. Oh God.
One guy put, "This is the craziest shit I've read on this subreddit. Abort mission, dude. There's no way this story has a happy ending."
Yes, I agree with her. I feel like her name is Felicity, but she calls herself Fliss.
Yeah. I love that.
Movie.
Okay, so update. Actually, wait. Have you given your advice?
Yeah, but my advice was wrong. I thought they'd be dating for less than a year. My advice was going to be just you got to leave at this point. There's no way. Well, you don't have to. You have to leave. I mean, you could just be like, "Yo." I mean, I don't know. I would probably be like, "I'm good, thanks." Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. Okay, go
on. After I made my post, I waited 2 days to say anything to her because I wanted to get as much input as possible. Blah 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 blah, some bullshit. I started reading comments right after I posted. God fucking damn it, man! I don't care. Just tell me what happened. I called my boss to ask for Friday off for personal reasons. I spent the day driving around looking for potential apartments. When people say they spent their day driving around, I imagine a scene from Rocky IV where Sylvester Stallone argues with his wife and his friend dies, and he gets in a Ferrari and he's all moody and there's a montage. I'll send you guys a link.
Yeah, I've never understood driving round. I've gone for a drive.
Oh no, I do. I do. It's good. You feel like moody.
Go somewhere. I can't just drive around.
I feel like
to McDonald's.
Yeah, my equivalent. Oh yeah, we've done.
Has to be at night time.
Adam and I have done many drives depressed to McDonald's, especially when we're writing our dissertations. But I feel like my equivalent is lying in a dark room and listening to the entirety of Frank Ocean's Blonde. That's like my equivalent of driving around to sort out my head. It's just me lying down complete darkness and putting on Blonde on my headphones and just like transporting myself into another world temporarily.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot that I didn't mention the reason why he's upset. It's because loads of people were replying to him telling that she was cheating on him, so he felt bad, and so he had to go for like trying to like chill out. We didn't live together, but I wanted to make sure that if things went bad, she'd have a harder time. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. He started driving around looking for apartments, looking for potential apartments
for him to move out.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
We also had some good memories in that apartment, and I think it would be sad if I continued to live there.
So did she cheat on him?
I don't know, mate. We'll find out. This brings us to Saturday, the day I promised to myself I would say something. I invited her over for breakfast, but instantly regretted it because I was getting so nervous that I completely lost my appetite. She walked in the door and instantly knew something was different. I was hoping to ease into it, but I ended up blurting out, "I met Matt Blank." She tried to act casual about it, but I could tell she didn't expect me to know about him. For the next 3 or so minutes, things were calm. I talked about how I see the past 4 months completely differently. She started to cry and say she was sorry. I don't mean some tears, but like full-on ugly crying. I told her I'm going to work on forgiving her because if I don't, I think it will eat me up inside. I won't forget what happened, but I'll at least try and move on. She started to talk about how she'll work on building my trust again. I interrupted her by saying that isn't necessary as we're no longer together.
Oh.
Wait, so did she try and explain the situation, or was it that she has a hots for the guy and never thought he'd know?
Don't know. If I wasn't so emotionally crushed, I would have been amazed at the transition. She started begging me to give her another chance. I stood up and went to my room to grab a few boxes of all the gifts she gave me. I told her that I had already made up my mind to break up with her. After some back and forth, she realized that I was serious. I knew the exact moment she knew I was serious because she went from crying to yelling. It started off with insults, and when that didn't work, she tried throwing the truth in my face to hurt me. It started off that I was fat, ugly, lazy, stupid, and I had a useless job. Oh, come on, man. What the fuck? In the middle of her tirade, she said Matt's dick was way bigger than mine.
So she had been cheating. She is a garbage person.
As she was yelling at me, she ended up saying what had happened between the two of them. I'll summarize below.
Oh my God.
She had started sleeping with Matt 3 years ago. They were on some sort of work trip and ended up drunkenly sleeping together.
Classic.
From there, it went on from once in a while to once a week. Matt called things off 4 months ago.
Oh no!
Which is when she started getting into. Oh my God.
Matt called. I think this post is fake. Everything lines up too well. Matt called things off 4 months ago because he met a girl. I think she was using the vacations because she missed being with Matt. I don't really remember the rest of Saturday.
Oh, that's why they were going to hotels, because that's what she did with him on the work trips.
Yeah, but they'd still be going out for like 6, well, whatever, however many months is a year.
Oh, disgusting.
I don't remember the rest of Saturday. I spent Sunday with my friends, which helped. I told them what had happened, which was nice to get off my chest. I went to work as normal yesterday. At some point in the day, she slipped a note under my door. I'm not sure what it said because I burnt it.
The drama.
Oh, damn.
I love the drama and conflama of it all.
Because I felt really sad at the beginning of that.
To me, this one screams fake, but it's still a good question.
Yeah. I felt I hope it isn't fake, but it does. Yeah, you're right. It does all line up suspiciously. But it shows the power of the internet, because to me, that wasn't her cheating. That was an annoying, emotional cheat.
Yeah,
but then it turned out, no, she actually had been cheating the entire time.
Yeah.
She had the audacity to be called
an
adulteress.
But this is the thing, despite the outcome, right?
Yeah.
What we said was still true, whereas like if it had turned out that she just had fancied him and they didn't have the hots for each other, it still is a form of inappropriate. There's a line there still that she's crossed.
Cheating going on
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
fuck them. Well, not him. I hope he turns out fine.
I hope he feels OP. Poor OP.
It just shows that she's a garbage person, that she'd revert to being angry even though she was in the wrong and start going after your looks.
But I've found that people who often are cheaters and in the wrong in that sort of sense will never be like, I'm so sorry. They're always like, oh, you're being childish. You're blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is the whole Love Island argument, but not that I watch it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of like, sometimes people have the truth revealed to them and they don't like it, so their instinct is to just lash out rather than be like, you know what, I fucked up, I did something bad, I'm upset with someone. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, when you start calling your SO like stupid, fat, ugly, shit job, it's like, where do you go from there?
Also, like if you're resorting to name calling, like how fucking old are you? Do you know what I mean? Just shows like she just needs to sort her life out.
Get in the kettle.
Well, I think that moves us on quite nicely to our topic.
I'm fucking exhausted after that.
This is really quite taxing.
Yeah. See, this is what. Do you understand why? Like, whenever people message me with relationship advice questions, now I'm like, you know what? Just email the podcast, because this is my advice for 2 hours. This is what I do, and then for 2 weeks, and then I just like. So my advice now, when I don't know what to say or when I'm emotionally exhausted, is just, you know what you want to do. You know what you want to do, because
just look deep within yourself.
Yeah, because
you know what you
with
want.
stuff like that, like there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, you're genuinely asking me because you think that I can help you in this situation, or that you're asking. If someone asks for my opinion on something, I'm obviously going to give it, and I'm obviously going to do the best I can with it. Anyway, this is it's quite draining, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just get a bit annoyed at them.
Yeah.
Find better people.
We're not living it. You've got to take in the factor of like they're living it, and you know, I don't know.
I get that.
No.
We forgot to mention the update from the last episode.
Oh shit! Update.
So in our last episode, I'll explain this to Adam. We had a question that was like, a guy had broken up with his girlfriend because his girlfriend was cheating on him. So he was like, should I tell the course that they will both get kicked off, or do I not do anything and let her live her life?
That's interesting. What would you have done?
I mean, I
don't think I'd be that petty.
I mean, you just listen to what I said.
I think I would. You got to.
I would be that petty, because like I said, there's very few moments in life where you get to fuck someone over as much as they've hurt you.
Yeah.
That, like, I think you got to take it.
If I was in it, I'd probably do it.
So the update is, so he said he was going to take a break, have a chat with his dad, and see what he should do, right? Update 2. A lot of you guys asked for an update, so here it is. Despite a lot of convincing posts, I'm not going to do it. She needed a lot of support to get to this point, financial, emotional, and otherwise. And without it, I think she's perfectly capable of fucking this up by herself.
That's a mature response.
I'm going to keep the apartment, even if it means I have to leave down the line. I want to put her through the stress of finding somewhere to live whilst out of the city. Thanks for all the kind messages, blah, blah, blah.
And the edgy ones.
Didn't do it.
You know what? I respect that. I really do.
No, I think that is appropriate. I feel like if you did fuck him over, I can hear my mum.
You took the big way out.
If I'd done it, I would have been as bad as them. In a way.
This is the thing.
Especially when he spoke about financial assistance and all of that crap. Yeah, she might be a shitty person, but she did what.
Yeah. I also think, I think I've said this to you before, where there was a situation that arose with, with my ex and what happened with all that, and how I could have really, twisted the knife. But I was like, I don't want to give them any opportunity to think that what they did was justified.
There you go.
So by not doing this, it's like you still maintain that you did everything that you could, and you wouldn't change anything that you did, and you did everything right,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I get that.
So, mad respect.
Also, fuck her.
Yeah, also fuck her, man.
Fuck her.
But I like that whole thing of you know what, she's probably going to fuck this up anyway. So for our new guests, for our new listeners to Peak Millennial, Adam is very familiar with the format.
Yes.
Every episode we pick a topic that we want to talk about, that we think is interesting, that could raise some interesting conversations. And we chose this because Gio and I have never been in any long distance relationships. Well,
not really.
No, I have.
Ish.
But Adam has done long distance. And that was one of his main relationships.
It was my main relationship.
And most recent? No, not most recent.
It wasn't my most recent relationship.
It was recent-ish though.
Man.
Yeah, for sure.
So
how long was it for?
We were together for about a year, but we were long distance for probably
9 months or so, right?
No, I'd say it was about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, for about 6 months of that. Because
all right.
I met them. They were foreign, and trying not to give too much information. But basically, they were foreign. I met them here when I literally moved to London. It was the first day I went on. And then we were together a year. They were foreign, they were here for their masters. And effectively, upon completing their masters, they were obviously looking for work. They weren't really finding anything in that area. And it just turned out that back in their home country, there was this place that was offering this internship and spoken about it. And it was like, no, you absolutely should do this. This is going to be amazing. And we spoke about, obviously, we'll take it in turns. And we set the ground rules up and it was all fine. But effectively, the problem started when it got to June and he hadn't found anything else. And he was confident he was going to find somewhere back in London. And he didn't. And so it was really causing a big strain because he was getting so stressed out. And effectively, we'll go into more detail later on when we talk about certain things. But effectively, it crumbled from that point where he decided to stay. Because I think the reason I was so happy to do the long distance, I thought it was going to work. Well, if he's going to come back, of course we can spend 6 months apart.
Yeah, it's a temporary.
Absolutely, it's temporary. But then when you're then being told it may not be temporary after all, I don't know if that was sustainable. But yeah, effectively just not even a trust breakdown, but just communication breakdown. And when that breaks down, you're finished. Yeah. So the effort stopped. But it's, looking back on it now, it's only, at the time I was absolutely distraught because it was the first person that I'd loved and all this kind of stuff. But the breakup was so amicable because it literally was kind of just some of the stuff they said. I can remember calling you afterwards. And I was like, and Angela was like, you sound so calm. And I was like, yeah, because there was no other way out. There was no situation that was going to work. And I'm glad we got to that point.
It wasn't tumultuous.
Forcing it. It literally was like, well, if you're not going to make that change, then this isn't going to happen. So we might as well just end it now.
Whilst things are good.
Before we hate each other. And now I do like the idea that when I go to that country on a holiday, I'd be like, oh, I'm here if you want to come for a drink with me and my friends. I feel like we have got that relationship, which is really nice. But yeah, it did crumble.
I think that the interesting thing with long distance is that I don't know any couple who's managed to do long distance successfully except my parents.
Wow.
Yeah, because they met and then got married. I think a year later. I might have to fact check that. It might have been longer. But this was like back in the day when technology was like nothing,
no
right?
emails, no text
And
messages.
they used to send letters to each other.
Wow.
And I mean, I had a really long conversation with my sister earlier about how my parents are the greatest people I've ever met, and I won the lottery being brought up by them. But I have such high expectations of relationships because of my parents, and I think I have to say I have such a high expectation and bar for men purely because of my dad.
Well, I'm the opposite end of that spectrum. I've kind of come into the world thinking love isn't real. My mum and my stepdad now, perfection, but my real father, garbage person. So it's kind of like, if that's the bar,
we're in for a bumpy ride.
Yeah, light me on fire.
Yeah, no. So I think I find in long distance, like talking about long distance, really interesting because my general view of it is I wouldn't be able to do long distance.
Mm-hmm.
I have sort of done it for a couple of months and it was tough, but it's always like, we have technology and we have FaceTime and all this kind of stuff, and that's what will keep us through. But actually having to line those things up at the same time.
Yeah, man, two things. So I don't know if it was, but it's long distance like 30 years ago is a lot different than long distance now.
Yeah.
But no, so obviously now you can like talk to people wherever the fuck all the time. But I think there's an expectation to see people more. Because you think back in the day, if you wanted to see your mate, you just had to hope they were either at home, could answer their phone, or you just had to go and fucking look for them outside the bar. You know what I mean? That's why.
Yeah.
The whole reason why bars are a thing is because you have to fucking meet people somewhere, arcades for kids or whatever. So it wasn't necessarily that you had contact with these people every hour of every day, but now you do.
Or at least the option to, and so then when you don't take that up, it then leads to thoughts and overthinking. Absolutely. So
it's like, whilst we've grown up, we've been like conditioned to have constant like feedback from other people. Whilst back then it was like, oh fucking hell, I've not seen Jim for a month. I'll just go see if he's at the bar, give him a call at his home. But now it's like, fuck, mate's not texting me back after 5 hours. What cunt? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just constant, you need attention from other people more now.
It's kind of managing expectation for me, because when we were at our best, because it did work for a really long time, we'll text whenever, we'll have a FaceTime once a week where it's like proper FaceTime and we chat for however long. If we have a FaceTime scheduled, you don't turn around and then ring each other 2.5 hours later, or like you have to be clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point where they'd be at work and then they'd be like, okay, I'm leaving work now. And then suddenly I'd get a text 2 hours later saying they're still at work. And it's like, well, you're not communicating with me. You're not, it's not even being dishonest.
Sure.
It's just like, tell me what is actually happening because I am rescheduling my life around this call.
That's, I think, the issue.
So it's just, and the biggest thing, one of the main reasons why we broke up in the way we did, which was over the phone, because obviously you're in separate countries.
Sure.
Was since you are only with that person for 2 to 3 days maximum, it puts so much pressure on those 3 days to have the best sex, to go to see all the best stuff. And when he was coming here, it got to the point where near the end of the relationship, he turned around and he was like, I just felt that I didn't have as much fun as we usually do. And I was like, well, we can't always go to the theatre. We can't always go out for meals. We can't always have sex as soon as you... It's difficult to manage.
I felt that as well when we were seeing each other doing, and like every weekend that he would be back in London or whatever, it was that very like, oh, if we don't see each other. And with my old job as well, it was like sometimes I would be like, oh yeah, like I'm leaving now, and then it would be like, and then someone would be like, there's a crisis with this cat food advert, and I'd be like, oh my god. And like, so then I'd be like, I'm sorry, I have to stay late, I have to do this. I remember one time really clearly, I was supposed to meet him at the pub like near my house ish, and I had to do a bunch of paperwork that someone had asked me like last minute, and in the end, someone who literally she had nothing to do with my job, but also worked there, Natalie, who you met, she ended up doing it in the end because she was like, go see your boyfriend, like don't be here because of this fucking thing that anyone could do. Like it was because it was such a thing of, I had put so much pressure on myself in my job, and that had become my priority because I wasn't seeing him all the time. And I think and then it got to a point where I was trying to balance him and doing that job was just unbearable. Like, and I'm a person who considers herself to be fairly good on her phone, or I was at the time. I'm really not anymore. But it was like, for me, it was kind of the whole thing of there's so much pressure on when I see you that we have to be having the best time because this is the only time that we see each other.
Yeah,
and if you're in a relationship with someone, of course you should be having fun. But obviously, the whole point of relationships is that 24/7 is not amazing. Sometimes you will have arguments. Sometimes you will fart in front of each other, and it's a bit gross. And you know, like there's so much in that. But if you condense that down to 2 days every month or whatever, there's so much in that, you know.
Yeah, life changes sometimes, and you can't anticipate it, and you can't prevent it from happening.
Yeah.
And then just a switch will flick, and it's done.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter that the rest of that relationship had been fine. But yeah, it's just, and also it's about, because something that started to happen is that I started to get agitated when the complacency started. And I started to kind of nag and be like, well, come on, like this is the only time that we talk. Why isn't this being put as a priority? And effectively at the end of our relationship, I kind of said, I feel like I'm your mother. I feel like that is the only time when we argue is when I say something to you about your behaviour that I don't find appealing. But then you don't really do anything. And he was like, no, because I am acting badly. And he was so honest about it. He was like, I am acting badly. I am doing those things. I deserve you to have a go at me. But the thing is, Adam, I don't know if I can or want to change that right now. The thing with long distance is I really do think it can work. I know people where it has worked, where it's gone on for years in different cities, like in America. I just don't think we live... I think Gio touched on something really hardcore in that I think in a civilization now, where we do need that contact all the time and have that allowed, I think it is becoming a bit outdated because there's always a way around it.
I think it puts an unnecessary pressure.
Unnecessary is perfect word.
And I think, so like one of my sister's best friends did long distance with her boyfriend in Turkey for like I think like 10 years or something.
Damn.
And now they're married, and he moved to the UK for her, and now they're together. Like,
which is epic, but like
it can work. Yeah. It can. I just think it depends on the kinds of people, maybe, and
circumstances, all that.
There's, and I also think like, again, it was like a temporary thing, and then they get together. Although it was 10 years, yeah, sure, that's a long time. But I think there was
a guarantee of being together at one
point. There's an end goal.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
We'll be together in the end. But can long distance be sustainable indefinitely? No, I don't think so.
What were you saying, Gio?
Well, that's what I've heard is like the only way it's really going to work is that if you have an end date or an end goal in mind. Because if you're just floating around, just being there in another fucking country for God knows how long, it's like, what are you working towards? So they're just always going to stay like, what are you going to do? You need to have a chat about like, what, you know.
Yeah, it's something, unfortunately, because of that experience, it's something I would be very reserved to ever do again.
Same.
I think it's as we've been discussing. If it is for a period of time, i.e. 2 to 3 months, if it gets longer than that without a guaranteed end date, no.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we are all adults. We all know how to communicate. So at the end of the day, if you can't spend 2 months to 3 months apart and your relationship still not be good, it kind of take a long hard look at your relationship.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like it when people are like, well, of course you broke up because long distance doesn't work. I was like, I think it's totally dependent on so many factors.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Maybe that you don't have those factors and it's just not working for you. Something that was epic for us is I think I can be a jealous person, and that's something I'm working through, but not in relationships. I'm jealous of careers. I'm jealous of looks. I'm not jealous of my relation. So with my relationship with this person, I had never once had the fear that they would cheat on me because they were in a different place. I never once had the fear that even though they were back with their friends and they were back where their exes were from, never once did that give me any kind of insecurity. And I think, unfortunately, that would enter so many people's heads.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, we had the trust. The trust was always there. Just communication wasn't the forte later on into it. But yeah.
Which is interesting because I think often it might be the other way around.
The communication's there, but the trust isn't. That's where you take a longer look hard at yourself. And like, what am I compromising by being like this?
Yeah. I think long distance relationships, in a way, like it kind of depends on the kinds of things that you do. So like, I remember talking to my friend when she was in a long distance relationship with her boyfriend, and she was saying that long distance kind of worked for her because she had her time to do her own things, and she's a very, very ambitious person. So she had her own time to really, really focus on herself and not almost have that as a distraction. And then she would see him, and that would be her time with him, and that she could kind of keep the two things separate, which I agree with. But then, you know, it's like, does it have to be a thing where it's separate? Can that person not also be supporting you?
Yeah,
doing those things.
Again, depends on people.
Depends on the people. And again, like, they didn't work out, and now she's with someone who they literally were on the same course and spend all their time together and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, like, what it's difficult, you know. I don't think I'm the kind of person who could do long distance because I'm not very good with communication if I'm not with you.
Right.
So it's like, I don't really like being on my phone, especially not when I'm at work, and most of the time I'm at work or I'm commuting now. So it's like, I wouldn't be able to do it now, I think, because, you know, the whole like setting aside time to FaceTime and all that kind of stuff, like, it's just not the kind of person that I am. I don't really.
But it might be a person you'd become for the right person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You do adapt.
That is
because
true.
That was the situation with me and this person. I would hate the idea that I would turn down someone because there was a potential for long distance, because then I would always kick myself. I would hate to be getting on so well with someone like I was getting along with this person.
And then have cut it off there.
Just done, finished.
But I also think that playing something out. Yeah, exactly. Playing something out and having that not work out or whatever is always better, knowing that you've done everything that you can, rather than having that, what if I had done that? What if I put in more effort?
Life can be so shit that, like, the magic is doing it at points.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it would have to be like, it's this difficult one, because it's like, when does the long distance start? First of all, does it start like 3 months into the relationship? Does it start from the get go? Does it start from like 2 years? All of a sudden, I'm going to fucking France to be a baguette maker for a year. Like, oh fucking hell, all right. Like, if I knew from the get go that I would have to be long distance, well, not from the get go. Let's say the get go being like 0 to fucking a couple months or whatever. I don't know if I would. It would have to be like the most fucking amazing thing, because for everything I've heard has been so shit, and I think they would just make me fucking miserable if I had to like Skype and shit. I hate that. I'm like you, Andrew. I hate going on my phone for. I love phones, like nerdy and shit. But I hate actually using it.
I love playing games on my phone. I love doing all that kind of stuff. Actually speaking to human beings, oh my god, don't even go. Like, I hate being like texting on my phone, especially during work. I think this actually goes back to our love languages thing, where it depends on how you communicate. So if you're people who show your love to each other through words and that sort of thing, or gifts or whatever, then that's, I guess, long distance can be more cooperative with how your relationship would work. But for someone like me, where physical affection and being with someone is the most important part of a relationship, I don't think long distance would work for me in that sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
This episode was not as hilarious as
I know. I'm really sorry. I feel like it was funny, and then when you get into long distance relationships, that's not a really funny subject.
I don't know how to describe it. Everything is more of a bummer when it's long distance. You know what I mean? Because there's almost like no positive reinforcement. It's like the chats for me.
Yeah.
For me, the long distance chats is more of like a. I don't know how to describe it. It's like maintaining something rather than growing something. For me, the growing something happens like together in person. You know what I mean? Like whenever I talk, it's not the case for everyone, but for me, whenever I'm talking over the phone or whatever, it's always just trying to keep in touch rather than becoming like closer. But that's just me. Like, hey, people get closer over the phone, whatever. Yeah.
I think, like, especially when I speak on the phone, it's normally like, oh, this is too long to sort out over text. Like, let's sort out when we're seeing each other, or like, let's sort out when we're doing this. Or that's how I use phone communication. So I think to phone someone to just be like, oh, like, what are you doing? How are you? Or whatever. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's just not a form of communication that I like. So if you're in a long distance relationship and you listen to this because you're like, oh, I want some lighthearted fun to listen to.
Yeah, get fucked.
Get fucked. This is what you're getting. Deal with it.
Hey, have you guys seen those kissing things that you can kiss people from across the world?
Kiss me through the phone. Soldier Boy invented that in 2008. So
yeah, have you seen the IRL Kiss Me Through the Phone?
I hate it. No, I just absolutely, it's madness. Like that is just.
Come on.
That is so. What's the word I'm trying to think of? I just.
Black Mirror, disgusting.
Maybe, but like it's overcompensating to the next level.
Yeah,
it's not real. It's fabrication. Like you kiss the phone, and at the exact moment that you kiss it, the phone will vibrate.
All right, gang. All right, peak millennial listeners. Oh, have you come up with a haiku, Gio?
Oh shit! No, I didn't. I got distracted by that Kissinger thing. I couldn't generate one on Google.
Peak millennial is 5 syllables in itself. So
generate a.
Isn't it 575?
Yeah.
And what's peak millennial?
5. Peak millennial.
So that's 1. Now the next line has to be 7.
Okay. What is a haiku? Please listen to the podcast. Please send us questions.
That's perfect.
I mean, I was expecting something more spunky.
God damn it. What do you want from me, man?
Well, if you want something spunky, you've come to the wrong place.
If you need advice, listen to the podcast. Listen to the podcast. Probs just fuck their mum, though. That's 6!
I wanted that more! That was excellent.
That was great.
Probs just fuck their mum. There you go.
Thanks for having me, guys. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming,
Thanks
sir.
for being...
Welcome.
Gio, it's lovely to see you.
If you liked the experience, please rate us and subscribe. I don't know. If you like being here, you're more than welcome to join us again. But I feel like you need to lie down and listen to some Joni Mitchell and cry it out.
So hungover and also reliving and discussing the breakdown of my longest relationship has been quite taxing.
Yes. You know what? We're going to watch some Queer Eye and just chill out.
Oh, good idea.
So
this podcast is a long distance relationship.
Oh, it actually
so there you go.
Is. Oh my god. Oh my
so
god.
There you go.
Gio, I think we're the longest running relationship I've ever had.
Start a podcast with your significant other.
This is the sequel to Make Lobster with your significant other, isn't it?
That's it. Make a podcast with significant other.
All right. Well,
we were both virgin.
Follow Adam. Follow Adam on Seers057. Yes, I have memorized his Instagram handle. On Instagram, he's @Seers on Twitter. You know, he's great.
SWRS.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's wonderful.
That was the podcast. Goodbye, everyone.
I don't have a. Goodbye.
I never know how to end these.
Bye.
Bye.